Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Social Security Talk. I'm the guy in the gray shirt. My name is Marc. I will be your host today. We record our podcast once or twice per month. Many times it's myself and my partner Jan Blair just talking about Social Security. But sometimes we have guests on our Social Security Talk podcast. And the guest today is Chris Hall. Chris is a co-founder of a company called Estate Plan Navigator. And Chris, welcome to Social Security Talk. Nice to have you.
Thanks, Mark. Great to be here.
In a summary, Chris, just tell us a bit about what the software does.
Sure. Our software was created about 6 years ago with the idea of allowing a financial advisor, someone in the financial services world, to help their customer get high quality estate planning documents in place without having to, the roundabout way of sending them off to a lawyer and having the lawyer complicate things and charge them a lot of money. Our platform streamlines that, allows that advisor to kind of control the process, get those documents in place in a really simplified manner and at a great price.
You're national, right, Chris?
We are. We actually do business in all states except one. And that one is Louisiana, and that's simply as a result of the fact that they still use what I think it's called Napoleonic code, so it would require a separate version of our software. We'll eventually have Louisiana, but not right now.
You are located in Tampa, Florida, and the company is located in Provo, Utah.
That's correct. Our corporate headquarters are in Utah.
Is it snowing in Provo, Utah right now?
I spoke to some of our team this morning. I don't think it was snowing, but it's a lot colder than it is here in Florida right now.
What do you have, about in the 80s?
Yeah, we're perfect. This is the time of year to be here. Low humidity, 81, 82, and 65 at night. It's just perfect.
When we talked last, Chris, I got the impression that your software is unique for a number of reasons. Number one, it really streamlines the process of estate planning and related documents. Can you explain that just a little more detail?
Sure. In the past, financial advisors, by the way, I'm a former advisor myself. I started on the life insurance side and ended up getting my 65, 66, and 7. But advisors really struggle these days still to get their clients to actually get those documents done. For whatever reason, people don't like to talk about their eventual demise. It's not the high priority. The lawyers have done a phenomenal job of making it seem super complicated. And so what we've done is we've been able to take that process online, and what we've done is allow a lawyer to practice law with our platform. So the financial advisor is essentially just helping their client enter information into the software. You might think of TurboTax. And so that lawyer essentially interviews the client via our software. The advisor simply helps them enter that data. And at the end of this meeting, in most cases, you're going to be able to say, hey, print and send me my documents. So it's very simplified.
So here, who is this software geared towards?
It's strictly geared toward those people in the financial services world, whether that's insurance agents, securities licensed financial advisors. We do a lot with CPAs and so forth.
So how? Go ahead.
I was going to add, Mark, just real quick. We do not sell directly to the public, so we don't compete with our audience.
Okay, got it. So let's say an advisor, a financial advisor, CPA, whatever, is meeting with the client. How would this discussion go? How would they start to promote Estate Plan Navigator?
Typically, it's not a lot different than what they already do, except for what happens after they discover the fact that the client needs those documents. I think most good advisors these days are pretty holistic, and they discover that their client has a need, and up till now they would hand them a business card or send them to that particular lawyer, and that's where it breaks down. Now the advisor would simply be able to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, guess what? I've got this great new partnership with Estate Plan Navigator, and we can solve your problem quite easily. And that's when they can just go into our software and get it done and start that online interview with the lawyer.
So the interview would be started in the advisor office with the client?
Yeah, most,
Go ahead.
yeah, that was the idea initially. Then, of course, COVID came along, uh,
Okay, fair enough.
and that changed everything. But the nice thing about our solution is it works extremely well virtually, and so that's actually been a boon for us. Really, is that so many advisors are doing business in different states now. They don't necessarily have a lawyer in that other
Good
state,
point.
so they can use the Zoom meeting to their advantage. Client loves it because guess what? They can sit at home in their pajamas if they want and get their estate plan done.
So the advisor would kind of open up the software and start asking a whole bunch of questions, right?
Yeah, the attorney's essentially asking the questions via the
Okay,
software, and the advisor is simply being a scribe for the lawyer,
fair
entering
enough.
that
Okay,
data. Yeah.
got it. No problem, because there is an attorney involved, right? And
Yeah, that's the unique part of what we do versus the other players in our space, sort of the online space. Those are what we call DIY solutions, where they've taken the
okay,
lawyer to kind of put them in the background.
okay,
We don't like that for financial advisors. We want the lawyer in the process, and so that lawyer's practicing law via our platform.
got it. So you're saying no? Let's talk about the types of documents that can be prepared using Estate Plan Navigator. No
Sure.
doubt the traditional will and trust.
Yeah, exactly. So we're after the majority of people. We're not trying to service the super high net worth. Those people are already comfortable in a lawyer's office and in a lawyer environment. We're after that 60 or 70% of the population that doesn't have documents in place that should have them in place. And so what happens is our lawyer in the software, based on what the client answers in the needs analysis, which is the first section of our software, the lawyer will recommend whether they need a basic will package or whether they need a revocable trust package or whatever documents the client needs. You actually get the lawyer to make that recommendation for you, and then we can move through and customize them for the client.
So I assume a whole array of different estate plan documents are available, like the financial power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, HIPAA, so forth and so on.
That's correct, Mark. And what's nice about it is everything's state specific. So you don't have to be concerned that, hey, I live in Massachusetts where there's a different inheritance tax situation going on. Everything adjusts in the software, and there's going to be an attorney in that state responsible for those docs.
You're national, right, Chris?
Yeah, we are. Yep, we're, like I said, everywhere but Louisiana.
Oh, that's right. You just mentioned that.
Yeah, no problem.
Why do you see a need, Chris, to be involved in this space, to bring this a product out to advisors?
Yeah, a big reason I'm here is, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a former advisor myself. I used the estate planning as a way to gather assets. It was a marketing tool for me. But what I learned in the process was the fact that most people didn't have the documents. And so when we started this, we set out on a mission to flip those numbers. Instead of having 60, 70% of people without documents, we want to turn that around and change things up. And so we feel like it's important to give access to high quality solutions to people that normally wouldn't get them. Most people don't want to go spend $3,000 or $4,000 for a set of documents when they can get it done this way.
Yeah, I know somebody that just spent $4,500 for documents from a lawyer.
Very, very, very common. And with us, you're looking to, if it's a revocable living trust package, you're talking about $699 in most cases.
Okay. So tell me what the process is, Chris, to get involved with your company. What type of pricing structure do you have? Who do people contact, so forth and so on?
Sure. So two aspects to our pricing and how you get going. I think that's probably a good starting point is our customers are the financial advisor. Those are our real partners, and they pay a subscription. It's not large. It's $39 a month or $375 per year. For that, they get the ability to create those documents with a lawyer in those 49 states. They get an online dashboard in Vault where all their clients' documents will live. They will also be able to create powers of attorney, both healthcare and financial, for anyone, anytime for free. That's part of our mission, right? Is let's just get at least the basic documents in as many people's hands as we can. And then the last piece of that subscription is we're going to give them access to our legal team for questions around estate planning documents that they need to prepare at no charge. So there's some value in that subscription. So that's the advisor or financial professional side. Then we have the documents themselves, which is typically paid for by the consumer. And that depending on, remember, the lawyer's going to recommend what documents the client needs. If it's a basic will package, those run $249 per person. That includes the state-specific will, the power of attorney for healthcare, power of attorney for financial decisions, the advanced healthcare directive, and some other additionally important documents. Everything's put in a nice binder with a letter from the lawyer and so forth. So that's the will package at $249 per person. If the lawyer recommends a revocable trust package, those run $699, and that includes the wills, that includes the trust, the certification of trust, all the powers of attorney, everything that's needed, with the exception of one important item for those of you listening that know when you end up with a revocable trust, you've got to transfer assets into your trust. And real estate requires a deed. That deed can be ordered right in our software. Real simple, just click a button, put the address in, and those deeds run an additional $199 per property.
So let me make sure I got this right. The advisor pays about $370 per year to be part of the program.
Correct, $375.
$375 per year to be part of the program. And then the advisor can charge whatever they feel the market will bear to perform the service, right?
Great point, Mark. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, so that's a unique thing. Since we call it unbundling, we've unbundled the process. And what I mean by that is we do the legal work, or the lawyer does the legal work. Those tasks that you have to be a lawyer to do. The advisor does those other tasks, and they can charge a separate fee. Often those fees are charged under their RIA, or they are an IAR of an RIA, and that's all disclosed in their ADV2, and they use their firm's fee planning agreement. If you're not securities licensed, we give you some rules to follow or guidelines to follow, but yes, you can charge that separate fee for your time, and I think you should. And personally, you don't have to, but you're bringing tremendous value to your customer by helping them through this process.
Well, you threw out a figure not long ago, Chris, of $699. That's for an irrevocable trust, right?
That's for a revocable trust.
A revocable trust. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Who is that paid to?
That gets paid to our company, and that's for the legal work.
Okay.
And then the balance payment, or if the advisor is going to collect their own fee, that fee gets paid in a separate payment, which you want to do. Yeah. Because it's illegal to split fees with a lawyer, so you collect a separate fee. We have literally thousands of advisors doing it that way, and it works beautifully. So
in other words, if I go through your program, my cost would be $699 plus if the advisor has a separate charge, that would be additional.
That's correct.
And if I need, like you said, a title for my property to transfer, that's about $200 more or less. And Chris, what if I want to talk to the lawyer because I have specific unique questions and issues that I want to run by him or her?
Yeah, another great question, Mark. So I'm going to break that into a couple parts, if you don't mind. One of the things I didn't mention in the process is really important. This is an automated system, right? But sometimes the lawyer's office will need to speak to the client. And so built into our software algorithms are questions that we call triggers. And we've been doing this for over 32 years. Our original company goes back a long time. And we know to add certain questions that help identify cases that might be more complicated. When the client answers those questions in a certain way, then we will put the lawyer in direct contact with the client so they can have an in-person discussion. Most of the time, if you're going to use our platform, there's no direct conversation with the lawyer. However, if the client really wants to do that, we will connect them and they can have a more traditional lawyer-client relationship outside the platform.
And there could be a cost for that, I would assume.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay, that's fine.
In cases, then the lawyer's going to charge their normal fee minus a discount for being in our network.
Well, I think one of the main benefits of your software, it gets the other advisor involved, and the advisor can be more proactive in helping a client through the estate planning space. Of course, like you said, a lawyer will be involved, there's no doubt, but now the other advisor can at least be active and be proactive in getting this done.
That's correct. They really can feel good about solving this. They get a tremendous amount of goodwill. We hear from advisors all the time how much stickier this makes their client.
Stickier. Okay.
There's also some other very big benefits in that they get access to the next generation. In other words, they're being introduced to the children of their clients. If you're dealing with an older clientele, the statistics are something in the range of $70 trillion of assets will transfer over the next 20 years in this generational wealth transfer that's happening.
Okay.
And 80% plus beneficiaries fire their parents' financial advisor because there's no relationship created. So now by getting involved in the estate plan, getting to know the entire family, including the beneficiaries, advisors can avoid that huge sucking sound of their assets under management leaving them as their adult clients pass on. And that's why, frankly, we've been getting more and more calls from very large firms, nationwide firms out there, who are putting in place systems like ours so that they can get access to the next generation and avoid that asset flight.
Chris, how can advisors learn more about Estate Plan Navigator?
Best way to do it is check us out at epnavigator.com. That's our website. From there, you can do lots of things, including scheduling a demo to see the software in action or ask us some questions in person. That's probably the best way. You can also get a hold of us at 727-220-5152 is our phone number, and you can choose the sales extension, and we'll get you in touch with someone who can answer your questions.
I think, Chris, this is a great opportunity for advisors to establish the relationship, like you said, with the kids, and also to strengthen the relationship with their current clients. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, no doubt. And I think we found out about each other probably through LinkedIn.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Yes, I think your colleague Steve kind of put us together, which is nice.
That is nice. No, Steve's great at putting folks together. That's his specialty for sure. And yeah, we're glad to. I think we work with a lot of similar people, so
we do.
Great to be connected.
We do. So, Chris, thank you so much for being on our Social Security Talk podcast. I'm fascinated by the software that you have to offer and the benefits that it would bring to the advisors that we've educated. I'm sure you're going to get a flood of a flood of inquiries after the podcast goes live.
We're ready to take them on. And Mark, great to connect with you. Glad to be on with you. Thanks for having me.
Chris, any final comments you'd like to make?
Happy holidays to everybody. Have a great holiday season, and give us a call here. We're happy to talk to you.
Thank you, Chris. This now ends this edition of Social Security Talk. Take care, everybody. Bye. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Mark.